What is going on, guys? Welcome to Brad's NFL Breakdown. In this video, I will be going over every single game for this Week 9 NFL slate, and I will be giving out a pick as well. Pretty decent slate. Last week, Week 8, we pretty much went even. I think actually maybe with the juice, maybe down just a little bit. The Chiefs kind of saved us there from a losing day on Monday night, but it's just been a favorite fest, man. The favorites have been covering at a very high rate over the last couple weeks. I always say I'm not some crazy guy who's always on the sharp side, or I only take underdogs. But usually when the favorites are that profitable, those are usually when I have my losing weeks or my less profitable weeks. On the premium side, we've been absolutely crushing it on the NFL. You can check out all my picks over at Pickdawgz Premium. But let's get right into this Week 9 action. As always, guys, I like to get you guys in and out. So it's going to be quick breakdowns of each games and then a pick at the end. So let's get right into it, guys. First up, we are headed into Cincinnati. We got the Chicago Bears going against the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals coming off a very disappointing loss at home against the Jets. You know, we saw the Bengals win that game against the Steelers, and I think everyone, including the odds makers, thought, oh, maybe the Bengals are back. Maybe because Joe Flacco has had a couple weeks with this Bengals team, this is a team that actually might compete. No. The Bengals are still bad, and it's not because of their offense. They will be able to put up points. It's because of their defense. They allowed the Jets to put up 39 points against them. The New York Jets put up 39 points against the Bengals. The week before that, the Steelers put up 31. Week before that, the Green Bay Packers put up 27. Week before that, the Lions put up 37. It's not pretty, guys. I'm going to be on the Chicago Bears in this game. Yes, the Bears are coming off a disappointing loss against the Ravens, but let's be real, that was a Ravens spot at home. Now they're going into Cincinnati, and I think Caleb Williams in this Bears offense that has improved as the season has gone on. Don't get me wrong, they laid an egg against Baltimore, but as the season has progressed, this Bears offense has improved, and I think against the Bengals defense, they should have themselves a day. So I will be on the Bears, laying the 3 points in this one. Next up, we are headed into New England. We got the Atlanta Falcons and the Patriots going at it. If you guys watch my videos, I say the same thing every time about the Patriots. The Patriots are the gift that keeps on giving. I have taken them over the last several weeks, and honestly, in a lot of the games, in a lot of these Patriots games, I didn't really love them. But it was a case where they've won me so much money, it's kind of like I'm just going to keep riding the squad until they let me down. This is a team that's won they've won 5 straight weeks, but they've also most importantly covered in 5 straight weeks as well. Now they're going against Atlanta. They're laying 5.5 at home here. This one scares me a little bit. I do still lean the Patriots because they are the gift that keeps on giving, but Atlanta, after a really disappointing performance against the Dolphins, I feel like this might be a good buy low spot on the Falcons. We saw the Falcons lay an egg against Carolina, if you guys don't remember, on September 21st. They lost that game 30-0, but then the next week they bounced back and won 34-27. I could see that being the case in this one. Falcons look terrible. Next week they look good. That's what this Falcons team kind of seems like, a very wishy-washy type of team. So I still like the Patriots, but my favorite play for this game is actually going to be the over. I think we see points in this one. Patriots defense, I think a lot of people are giving them hype, but let's be real, guys. They play the Cleveland Browns, they play the Titans, they play the Saints. I think this Carolina team will have some success moving the ball, and Drake May in this Patriots offense looks damn good right now. So I'm going to be on the over 45 in this Falcons-Patriots game, and I'll lean towards the Patriots. Like I said, they are the gift that keeps on giving. Next up, we are headed into Tennessee. We got the San Diego Los Angeles Chargers playing the Tennessee Titans. I think now that the fact that the Jets got their first win of the season, I think it's fair to say this Titans team is the worst team in the NFL. It's really bad. It's really bad. I mean, when you look at this team's last 3 losses, get smashed by the Colts, get smashed by the Patriots, get smashed by the Raiders, which is a bad team. They did win that crazy game against Arizona. That's the only game they won. And if you guys know what happened in that Arizona game, they were lucky to win that one. Lost 26-0 to the Colts, or sorry, not to the Colts, to the Texans. This is a really bad team. And, you know, the Chargers were struggling there for a little bit, but I really like how they looked last game against the Vikings on primetime. Won that one 37-10. I was actually on the Vikings in that game. I thought the Vikings had the edge. Horseshit pick by me. horseshit pick. But I am going to roll with the Chargers in this one. At this point, guys, this Titans team is pretty much an auto fade unless they show me something different. They're 1-7 straight up, 2-6 ATS. And now that the Chargers are starting to get a bit more healthy, and they're starting to figure things out on the defensive side of the ball again, I think this is a Chargers team we could start to back. So with the Chargers rolling into momentum in this one, the Titans are dead. I'm going to take the Chargers. I'm going to lay the 8.5. Next up, we are headed into Detroit. We got the Vikings playing the Lions. Man, oh man, where do we start with this game? Vikings, no more Carson Wentz. RIP Carson Wentz. It was a fun little ride, but we're back to the J.J. McCarthy days. J.J. McCarthy will be the starting quarterback for this game, and it's not an easy start for him. You know, he's going against this Lions team that's coming off a bye. A Lions team that put work on my Tampa Bay Bucks in their last game, winning that one 24-9. And we've seen this Lions team play very well when laying big numbers. They were laying 10.5 against the Bengals, covered that with ease. Laying 10.5 against the Browns, covered that with ease. Laying 6.5 against the Bears, covered that with ease. When this Lions team lays big numbers, there's a good reason for it, and typically they cover them. We saw it similar to last season as well. And, you know, this Vikings team, yeah, we saw some J.J. McCarthy magic early on in the season. Specifically that Bears game where, you know, they were down pretty late in that one. We saw some J.J. McCarthy magic, and they ended up winning that one 27-24. But, man, going into Detroit, this is going to be a hostile environment. This Detroit defense is buzzing right now. They're coming off a bye week. I have to lay the points with the Lions here. Nothing is telling me to take the Vikings. I just can't do it. And, you know, the Vikings, they're a team that prides themselves on good defense, leans on that defense. Well, the damn Chargers put up 37 against them last week. So, Lions laying the points, not going to overthink it. Next up, we are headed into Green Bay. We got the Panthers facing the Packers. And I'm recording this video pretty early in the week. I'm recording this on Thursday, October 30th. Right now, there's still questions if it's going to be Bryce Young or Andy Dalton for the Panthers. Does it make a massive difference for me in this game? It really doesn't. The player I like in this one, guys, is going to be the under. When I saw this game, I immediately, the word under just popped in my mind, and honestly thought this total would have been set close to 42, 41, maybe even 40. When I saw it at 44, I jumped all over it. I really like this under. I think this is a game that the Packers get up early in, and I think they kind of just coast. This is a Packers team that is kind of not built around, but we all know they have the capabilities of getting up early, running the ball, burning clock, and getting on to the next week. Who do the Packers have on deck? Yeah, and the Packers have a home game against the Eagles on deck next week. You think the Packers are drawing up some crazy offensive plan for this Panthers team that they know they're going to beat? It just seems like a very sleepy spot. I just don't see. And also, they're coming off that primetime game against Pittsburgh where they won 35-25. So it's just kind of a sandwich spot. Like I said, a very sleepy spot for the Green Bay Packers. And then on the other hand, I don't have any faith in the Panthers scoring on this Packers defense. So for all those reasons, guys, I think this is going to be a lower scoring game. I will be on the under. Next up, we are headed into Pittsburgh. We got the Colts playing the Steelers. Very interesting game. The Colts are the hottest team in the NFL. And I mean, they've been the hottest team in the NFL for a while. You know, we saw them take that one loss against the Rams. And other than that, they've been absolutely flawless. 7-1 straight up, 6-2 ATS. The numbers don't lie. The Colts are legit. I do want to talk about this Colts resume, though. There's one common theme when you look at this Colts resume. Other than their last game, they did just play the Titans. And the trend that you see with the Colts here is they play a lot of their games indoors. And I know they played, that Titans game was at home, so that was indoors. Chargers, indoors. At home against Arizona, indoors. At home against Las Vegas, indoors. At Los Angeles, indoors. At Tennessee, outdoors. So they've played, they've only played one game outside of a dome this season. And now they're going into Pittsburgh. Now they are going into Pittsburgh. Let me see what the weather's going to be like. Not too windy, 52 degrees. So nothing crazy, but it's going to be, I want to see this Colts team play outside. And especially in an environment like Pittsburgh, it's going to be a little bit chilly. I'm on the Steelers. As you guys could tell, I'm not too confident in it. It worries me a little bit because how hot this Colts team is. I may be getting a little bit too cute, but the fact that the Colts are only laying 3 in the spot, I think it's a good indicator on how this game's going to go. I'm gonna rock with the Steelers in this one, guys. Like I said, probably maybe a no bet for me. I don't know if I'm gonna actually get to the window in this one, but something tells me this Colts train takes a little bit of a slowdown this weekend in Pittsburgh. Let me know if I'm crazy. Give me the Steelers though. Next up, we are headed into Las Vegas. We got the Jags playing the Raiders. Both these teams are coming off byes. You know, the Jags' last game, this seems like it was so long ago, but their last game was that game across the pond in England against the Rams where they got stomped. They got destroyed. They lost that game 35-7. They definitely needed that bye week. The Raiders' last game was against the Chiefs where they lost 31-0. So both these teams are just coming off embarrassing losses to say the least. I think the Jags still are a decent team though. I mean, you look at some of the wins they have this season. You beat the Niners on the road. That's not an easy win. Like, those don't grow on trees. You don't beat a Kyle Shanahan team on the road unless you're a decent squad. You followed that up with the win against the Chiefs. You beat the Texans, who I know at that time were great, but the Texans are starting to play a little bit better. So I look at this Jacksonville's resume, and even though they looked pitiful in their last 2 games, I still think this is a good ball club. And I can't say the same for the Las Vegas Raiders, man. You know, the Raiders, you beat the Titans, and then you did start the season off beating the Patriots, and that win now looks really good with how well the Patriots are playing. But I think we all know that Patriots team wasn't the same as this Patriots team now. Guys, I'm going to be on the Jaguars. I feel like, you know how I started the video? I was like, over the last couple of weeks, the favorites have been absolutely eating. I've kind of been rolling with a lot of favorites this video. It seems like, which kind of scares me a little bit because I feel like things are going to return back to its normal ways, but I can't help it. I can't help but lay the points here with the Jags, man. It's like so the Jags, after they beat that Chiefs team on what I think Monday night, they lose to the Seahawks. The Seahawks are a good team. They are. And then they had a weird game over the pond against the Rams, who are a good team as well. So now they get a bad opponent. I think this is a great bounce back spot for the Jags coming off a bye here. So I'm on the Jags. I'm going to lay the 3. Next up, we are headed into MetLife. We got the San Francisco Niners headed into New York, New Jersey, wherever it is, to play the Giants. Man, oh man, the Giants. This team just has bad luck. I'm just going to say it, man. I think Eli Manning sold his soul for those Super Bowls, and now the Giants organization is just bad luck. R.I.P. Cam Scatterboo. When I say R.I.P., I mean R.I.P. his ankle. He's still alive and well, but damn. You lose Malik Neighbors. You lose Cam. If they would still have Malik, if it was Jackson Dart, Malik Neighbors, and Cam Scatterboo, that trio right there, that'd be a nice swaggy trio, man. But now it's just Jackson Dart. It's just Jackson Dart, and they're catching 2.5 in this spot against the Niners. I do like this spot for the Giants, though. I really do. The Giants are coming off back-to-back road games, really tough road games. At Denver, at Philadelphia, brutal. But one thing about this Giants team is that they've actually been pretty damn good at home this season. They have a winning record at home. Their only loss at home this season was against the Chiefs, and you can't really hang your head on that. On the other hand, this will be the Niners' second road game in a row. They just took a loss to Houston in their last game, and they looked really bad in that game. I know Houston is kind of trending up, and they have a good defense, but Giants defense is no joke either. I mean, that defensive line for the Giants, I think is underrated. I think they could limit McCaffrey, and then, you know, not Purdy. Mac Jones is just lacking weapons. When's Brock Purdy coming back, man? I'm gonna pause this video. Yeah, I mean, they're talking. He might return soon, but it looks like it's still gonna be Mac Jones in this one. Guys, all around though, I am going to be on the Giants in this game. Honestly, this is kind of some line reading too. Like, you would think that the Niners would be a bigger favorite in this game, especially with the Giants losing their guy Scatterboo. I think that the Giants rile around each other in this one, and I think they pull off a win. I truly think the Giants win this game, but I'll play it safe and take the 2.5 in my back pocket. Overall, probably we see a total of 48-2. I honestly kind of like an under 2. I just think that's a tad bit too high, but I'm not going to touch that. I like the Giants. I'm going to take the Giants plus 2.5. Next up, we are headed into Houston. We got the Denver Broncos playing the Texans. Interesting game here. You know, when you look at these teams' last few games, when you look at the game logs, you might think the Broncos are just a lock in this one. I mean, this is one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. They've won 5 straight. Cool. But let's be real, guys. They've played Dallas at home. They've played the Giants at home where they needed a miraculous comeback. There are 2 road games in this stretch. They played the Jets. That was over the pond, but they barely squeaked that one out, and then they barely squeaked out a win against the Phillies. Or sorry, not against the Phillies, against the Eagles. Those 3 games, Eagles, Jets, Giants, those were almost 3 losses. They were this close to losing those games. And now they're going into Houston and playing a Texans team that I just talked about on the last pick. I think the Texans are trending upward. This is a Texans team that's won 3 of their last 4. They're coming off a really good performance against the Niners. And, you know, the Cowboys, or sorry, not the Cowboys, the Broncos coming off that game against the Cowboys, one of the weaker defenses in the league. Now they're going into Houston and playing this Texans defense that, in my opinion, is one of the strongest in the league. I think this is a good sell high spot on Denver. I think there's a reason why the Texans are favored in this game. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be a walk in the park for CJ Stroud in this Texans offense either. That Broncos defense is good, but I think at home here in a lower scoring tight game, I'm going to have to give the edge to the Texans in this one. I also think an under could be a good play, but I do like the Texans. Next up, we are headed into SoFi. We got the New Orleans Saints facing the Rams in this one. I'm just going to get straight into this pick. I like an under in this game. I feel like the under has to be the play. It looks like Tyler Shough is going to be the starting quarterback for the Saints. This will be his first start in his NFL career. Well, unfortunately for him, he's facing the Rams. The Rams, who have a pretty damn good defense, and he's facing a Rams team that is coming off a bye as well. I do not see the Saints having any success on the offensive side of the ball in this one. I think if this thing is going to clear the over, if we see over 44 points, 43.5, whatever it is, it's going to be because the Rams really light things up. And I don't think the Saints defense is that bad. I really don't. Don't get me wrong. They're not the best unit in football, but you know, they held that Bucs team last week to 23, and a lot of the Bucs points in that game came from their defense. It really wasn't from the Bucs offense. I have faith in the Saints defense to get the job done. And also, the Rams do have the Niners on the road on deck. That is a massive game for this division. I think their mind's going to be a little bit more set on game planning for that game rather than game planning some elite offensive scheme going against the Saints team, which they know they're going to win this game. Let's be real. So, I like an under in this one. I like an under. I think this one's going to be a little bit sleepy, if you ask me. Game of the day. Every time this matchup happens, I get butterflies. Chiefs, Bills, come on now. Let's get a bang for this matchup, man.
Bang! Bang! It's good!
Every time these teams play, it's an absolute movie. I'm fired up. I'm taking the Bills, though. I am taking the Bills. Look, guys, for me, it's simple in this matchup. You take the Chiefs in the playoffs. You take the Bills in the regular season. You take the Bills in the regular season. I think Josh Allen and these boys are going to be ready. Don't get me wrong. There is some injuries on the defensive side of the ball for Buffalo. Matt Milano, I don't think he's going to play in this one. That's a big loss. But, man, I still think this Buffalo team is elite. You know, we did see them lose that game against Atlanta. We saw them lose that game against the Patriots. But they bounced back nicely in their last game and beat the Panthers 40-9. On the other hand, don't get me wrong, the Chiefs are on a full-blown heater right now. I'm not gonna just disregard that, but the Chiefs have played 3 straight games at Arrowhead, and I love fading teams after a long home stretch in their first road game, and that's the situation that the Chiefs are in right now. So it's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be an absolute movie. It's gonna be cinema. But I think at the end of the day, I'm going to have to take the Buffalo Bills in this one. Like I said, guys, I like the Chiefs in the postseason in this matchup, but I like the Bills in the regular season. You know, these teams are 5-5 straight up the last 10 times they've played, and they're 5-5 ATS the last 10 times they've played. I mean, it's just incredible. If you're on the Chiefs, I'm not mad at you. Like, I'm not. I totally see a path for the Chiefs as well. But for me, guys, I'm going to be on Buffalo at home here. Next up, we are headed into Sunday Night Football. Yeah, this is a Sunday Night Football game. We got the Seahawks and the Commanders going at it. While I'm recording this, Commanders catching 3 points, total of 47.5. This is going to be the Jaden Daniels return game. Well, I think. He's projected to play. He's practiced in full pretty much all this whole week. So he should play in this game. Looks like no Terry McLaurin, though. Looks like he is going to be out once again. But interesting, man. Seattle laying 3 on the road with Jaden Daniels back. I was pretty surprised by that. Don't get me wrong. The Seattle Seahawks are playing out of their minds right now. I think it's fair to say this is a good team. You know, we saw them lose their first game of the season, and then they lost that game against the Bucs. But other than that, man, they've been winning these games and passing these tests with flying colors. I lean Washington plus the 3. I still think with Daniels at quarterback, this is a really good team. The play I like more in this game has to be the over, though. Look, the Commanders' defense has been their downfall this season. Their defense is soft as baby shit, to put it simply. The Seahawks offense has been a pleasant surprise. I think the Seahawks offense will have their ways with this Commanders defense, but I think the Commanders will be able to score right there with them. Yes, the Seahawks defense has been solid this season. Like, I'm not going to take away that from them, but when we've seen them play, you know, good offenses, which they haven't really played many good offenses this season. You know, we saw the Bucs put up 38 against them. Like, I think with Jaden Daniels back, I think this Commanders offense should get moving and grooving. And I think they'll put up enough points to push this thing over. So I think this is a shootout type of game. I think it's going to be a fun game. I'm going to be on the over in this one, and then I do lean the Commanders as well. Next up, we are headed into Jerry's World for the last game of the week. We got the Cardinals and the Cowboys going at it. I just noticed on this graphic, it says the total is 47.5. I think what I did wrong there was I kept the same total from that Commander-Seahawks game, but this total is actually set at 54, which is pretty crazy. That is an extremely high total. Don't get me wrong. We all know these Cowboys games have been over machines. If you've been betting them over on Cowboys games, you've been cashing in. So it makes sense. But for this game, guys, I am going to be on the Dallas Cowboys in this one. You know, when you look at the Cardinals, yes, they are coming off a bye, but this is a team that's 2-5 straight up. This isn't a good team, guys. They've lost 5 straight. They lost a game to the Tennessee Titans. I mean, what are we talking about here? On the other hand, the Cowboys, yes, they looked bad in their last game. You know, we saw them lose a game against Carolina. But one thing about this Cowboys team, terrible on the road this season, 1-4 straight up on the road, but they've yet to lose a game at home. This team is undefeated at home. They smoked Washington at home. They tied the Green Bay Packers, a good Packers team at home. They put up 40 points against that Packers defense in that game. They put up 44 against Washington at home. They put up 40 against the Giants at home. The last 3 times that the Cowboys played at home, they've put up 40-plus points. I'm going to be on the Cowboys in this one. I actually think this is a very fair line. I think the Cowboys should have their way with this Arizona defense, which actually isn't a terrible unit, but I think the Cowboys offense will be too much for them, and the Cardinals are shit, man. The Cardinals are ass. So we're going to finish the week off. We're going to take the Cowboys. So that is going to do it. That is the Week 9 NFL slate. Did I cook, or am I going to get cooked? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious to see what your favorite plays are. If you guys are looking for my best bets, if you want to take the guesswork out of it, if you want to save your time, you can always find those over at Pickdawgz Premium, or just click the link in the description of this video. It'll say Brad's Best Picks, and you can find all my plays there as well. We've been crushing the premium section when it comes to an NFL perspective. We went 2-0-1 last Sunday. We went 3-0 the Sunday before that, and then 3-0 the Sunday before that one. So, yeah, I mean, Sundays have been our days. Would love for you guys to hop on. But appreciate you guys watching this, man. That's another week in the books. I'll catch you next week. Let's make some money together.